record. There we go. Alright, where am I going to put this watchtower? I feel like I want it up high, but I don't really have a good place for that. So I got to just rely on the fact that... Oh, there's a show going on. I was like, who's doing this whistling?
You're gonna regret spending your time with me.
Alright, let's say... I guess we'll put it over here on this little hill. And then I think, yeah, that platform's not going to do any good. We're going to have to switch that over. But first, I'm going to get us some stairs here. Get you... And we'll swap our foundation over. I want stilts. There we go. Alright, then we're going to switch this over to a watchtower. There we go. And I guess we should power this guy. There we go. Oh, yes, pay and build. Alright, so that should solve our little bit of defense needs. I don't know why power's still low. That's odd. Maybe it just needs a little time. And then water, we're going to have to solve from another location. I think I'm going to go to like Sunshine or something, or Abernathy maybe? Oh, it looks like I cheated over here. I just built a couple of fuse generators. That was probably when I was trying to complete Commonwealth Rising. Well, I'm guessing we've unlocked most of the classes at this point. I mean, I'm going to have to find a settler who can actually use it. Well, yeah, none of these guys have the stats for this. So the only reason I was able to get all these in here is because we built this settlement back before that bug was introduced of the building classes showing up only if the stats matched. Before I started the stream, when I was like trying to get my bearings where we were, I took some notes about how I might approach fixing this problem without, because obviously I could roll back the code to when it worked, but I don't want to do that because that code added some useful things. All right, Bucky's got himself a nice little trailer. Hey, buddy. Now get back to working your nuclear power plant. I don't know why you're a genius, but we needed you. If we have all these farms here and this power, it would make sense to train intelligence and endurance. So let's see if we have. Let's see. I think this is intelligence training already. This is looks like a bookstore. Yeah, so let's see. Do we have endurance training anywhere? I don't see an endurance training, so I think we can swap this guy over. We don't really need the agility. We've got plenty of defense here. Or we will as soon as we assign someone to the watchtower. Welcome, everybody. I've been just screwing around in Starlight Drive in here trying to fix my settlement. Today we're going to finally continue with our Chapter 3 playthrough. I think what we're going to do today is we're going to keep trying to get the war tutorials going, but I also want to start down LTC. It's one of the only quest lines I've done nothing in, but there's also a little quest we added in patch 330, which I'm going to trigger as soon as I fast travel, so I think we're going to do that too. So I think we're going to do a couple side quests before we get back to the main quest. But let's switch this over to endurance training, since we got a lot of farmers living here. Alright, I need to find our settler that got unassigned from this power plant. So somebody has got to be idling around here. So I think we might have to use our plot tools for this, because I don't know where this person is. Our next objective we have for the tutorials is to get a watchtower set up in a non-martial settlement. So I want to see if all these preparing for war things are working. So let's go to city manager, or no, not city manager. What do we call this? Do I have the tool already? City manager tools, there it is. So we're going to go to town meeting gavel, and we're going to go gather unemployed. Let's see if anybody is not working. Oh, do we got somebody? Needs a job? Hey, buddy. Congratulations. You drew watch duty. To the wall with you. Oh, not the greatest stats, but that's okay. He can still build this thing for us. Alright, there's our watchtower, so that should satisfy this. And then we can bop over to, I think we're going to do Abernathy. I think we've been tempting fate with the Triangle of Death in this save, but I think I put a city plan there. I can't remember. We're going to go check it out, though, see if there's some space for putting some water plants in. Oh, there's our courier, and there's the quest I was talking about.
Who's it from?
Oh, wait a second. I wrote it down. Was some old guy. Here it is. Paul.
What did you say?
Yeah, Paul. Like I said, old guy, bald, facial hair. Seemed a nice enough client. Tipped well. That's all I know.
Who are you?
Just a courier trying to make a few caps.
Thanks.
You're welcome. Have a nice day.
Read the letter from Paul. Oh, so sad. Alright, read the letter from Paul. Is it actually called Letter from Paul? I hope so. There we go. Presence is requested to say goodbye to a friend. Holy Mission Congregation, Paul. Okay, let's go do this. This is one I would want to check out. Okay, so it is really close to one of our CBD precincts. Let's head over there. I was going to do the water here, but now this is more important. All right, I'm going to go over here. What'd you find, doggo? No, that's too far. You're too far away, dog meat. I'm not going back over there. Bring it with you. That's what I always tell my real dog. He always is going nuts after he'll find a stick or something, and I have to yell at him to bring it with him. Or he'll sit there and chew on it for 20 minutes.
Welcome. Take this. And you should speak with Paul. He's expecting you.
Best not cause trouble.
I'm not here to cause trouble. Who do we got here? Scaver.
I ain't your friend, Scaver.
Hey there.
How about you pester someone else?
Well, thanks. Oh, there's our crew. I was like, there's gotta be people we know here, too.
Yeah? What do you want?
Very kind.
How's she booting her, eh?
Hey.
Hi. Best not cause trouble. Excuse me.
Need something?
Nope.
Hey.
Oh,
Hello there.
where's Cola?
Heard a lot about you. Good to finally put a face to the name.
Paul. Is that you?
Yep. In the flesh. I'm Paul. Young Paul. Old Paul's son. I know it's a tad confounding. When it came to naming things, my father always did lack imagination. Anywho, I'm grateful that you could make it to Paul's funeral. And I know you must be busy, what with being in the middle of a war and all. But my old man deserves a proper send-off. So it means a lot to have you here. You should know my father thought very highly of you. He'd be happy that you came to say goodbye.
I appreciate that he inherited the Earthworm neck. Oh, we got a nice unlock. Communications Watchtower's working combination keep you informed about the ongoing war. Locations with both will start a new quest warning you of impending attack, so you can choose to join the defense or allow them to handle it themselves. So I think what happened is it detected a Watchtower building inside an outpost. So that's nice. I didn't have to do it.
Do you have time for some questions?
Sure, I'll answer what I can. What's got your noggin jogging?
I appreciate that he has some colorful ways of speaking like his dad did.
So why come out here?
What, to this place? It's been somewhat of a family tradition to host big events here. Weddings, gatherings, funerals. It's a tradition I haven't personally kept up on, but I figured my dad might like it if this is where everyone said their final goodbye to him.
It would be nice to know more about you.
Me? Well, can't say my life has been as colorful as my father's. However, I've had my fair share of adventures. Grew up in Diamond City. Lost my mother when I was young. Although, it took us some time to figure that out. Learned gunsmithing from my father, got older, became a merc, traveled the wastes. Met my wife, had children, grandchildren, and now I take care of law and order in a settlement, just on the borders of the Commonwealth. Enjoying my old age.
How old are we talking about?
Well, I'm not that old. Only 65 last month, which is why I'm called Young Paul.
So, tell me about him.
I'm sure some of it I'll touch on during the service, but, well, you met Paul. Whatever you saw was pretty much what you got. He was decent. Now, don't get me wrong, he had his faults. And we had our fair share of disagreements and falling outs over the years. But despite all that, he was a good man. And even if we weren't on the best terms during his later years.
What do you mean? Why not?
Oh, I really don't want to get into all that right now. Let's just say selflessness can sometimes be a little bit selfish. And me and my dad just had different views on just how much and how far someone should go in order to help others before it starts to cause problems.
That was all.
Let's
Sure
see
thing.
what else
And
Paul
again,
has to say.
really appreciate you making the time. Paul will be really happy to see you here.
Thanks for inviting me.
Ah, don't be a dunderhead. You're the guest of honor. Well, technically, Paul is the guest of honor, but I don't think he'd mind sharing the title. Oh, say, turns out in the result of his death, my father requested that you speak a few words during his service. That is, if you wouldn't mind.
It'll be my pleasure.
Mighty decent of you. I'll call you when your turn comes around. For now, please, take a seat, and we'll begin the service.
Hello, Kez.
Hey!
Huh?
I don't know if this is where I'm supposed to sit. Aw, little Cola, so sad. Did I just take Jake's seat? Is he not gonna know where to go? Oh, no.
Hey, fancy pants, good to see ya!
Teresa, that's a little too bubbly for this. I don't know if that was like me getting lucky. Oh, I'm not supposed to sit yet. It wants me to interact something over there, I guess. Oh, it wants me to sit up there. I'm just lucky I didn't block
What is it?
Jake's seat there. Oh, sad whimper. I love Cola in the game because it's modeled after my dog. So it looks like my Pooch's upstairs sleeping because he's got a bad tummy right now. We gave him
Let's hop to
some
it,
leftovers
shall
on
we?
Easter, and
We
he
all
did not
know
take
why
kindly
we're
to
here.
it.
Old Paul is dead, so it's time for all of us to say our final goodbyes. But that's no reason for us to start blubbing. My dad led a very long, and very full life. Paul did a lot of things, met a lot of people. And if you'll indulge me for a moment, I'd like to tell you a bit about who he was.
This is so funny. Fall asleep, let mind wander. No, we're gonna listen. I want to hear about old Paul.
In Diamond City
Oh, that was
about
great. The close up on the picture.
100 years ago. That's right. As best to my reckoning, my father was at least 109 when he passed. There's a reason everyone called him Old Paul. Now, he never shared the secret to his longevity, but if you ask me, he was down to his clean living and good nature. Life was good for Paul in Diamond City. He built a thriving gunsmithing business, met his future wife, Margaret, and even began raising a son. But as many of us know, there are synthetic robots out there who have been known to replace those closest to you while I was still an infant. Who we thought to be my mother made an attempt on my life. Paul stopped her with one of his very own guns. Of course, it wasn't really my mother, but one of those synthetic people. Still, the experience, it greatly affected my father. He never was the same.
Man, the camera angles in here are epic. Nice work, Sag.
She was a synth?
Indeed she was. Full of servos and sprockets. At least that's what the doctor who looked over the body said. I've only vague memories of the incident myself, but I do remember Paul using his favorite gun to perform the deed. And I remember him crying.
Uh-huh.
After my mother's untimely loss, Paul didn't do much sulking. Instead, he sold his business and started a shelter for those suffering similar hardships. But such things cost more caps than you might think. And so my father turned to banditry. The first of our many future disagreements. Now, despite becoming a raider, Paul was still Paul. He'd only go after those he thought wouldn't miss the caps, and did his utmost to not hurt anyone. And even though his illicit activities did bring in the needed funds, my father's heart just wasn't in it. And so he left raiding behind. And instead of stealing, he turned to scavenging. And as it turned out, Paul was a natural. It became his new passion, one that helped him do a lot of good.
Why would he do that?
Paul took no pride in being a raider. He simply did what he had to. And when caught off guard by a rather vicious rad storm, knowing he lacked the supplies to hold out until it passed, Paul again did what he had to. scavenging and building himself a makeshift respirator. And that's when Paul found his new calling. Or as he put it, that's the moment he caught scav fever. Paul's life work helped to finance not only the shelter, but a school as well. He also donated generously to the Minutemen and what would become the Nightingales. My dad was proud to see the Commonwealth slowly better itself. However, time makes fools of us all, and old age had finally started to take its toll on my father. Old Paul retired from full-time work, but ever the proactive sort, he refused to sit still. Barely a year living with me and my family, and he was back in the Commonwealth, traveling between settlements and offering what help he could, which I believe is how he met a particular individual who I'd like to invite to say a few words. Please, if you'd just like to come up here.
It'll be my pleasure.
Take the book.
Thank you
Oh, there we go.
kindly for speaking. Correct me if I'm wrong, but you met Paul when he joined up with one of your settlements, right? I think we might all be curious as to what your first impressions of old Paul were.
Perfect timing, this nice somber moment. Thank you for the subscribe, TTB.
He seemed to genuinely care about the Commonwealth.
The Commonwealth and its people. Yup, that was my dad, all right. Going off the letters he sent me, Paul did his best to help the folks figure out your ASAM doodads. Also helped some of yours build their own town. What's more, the cantankerous old coot even tried his hand at being mayor, I hear. But the group called the Gunners took exception to your efforts. Ended up attacking the town Paul helped build. Took him prisoner.
He tried to do the right thing, but it was too late. And I couldn't save him.
I don't think anyone blames you, and I know my dad wouldn't for sure. But ever true to who he was, Paul didn't take his detainment lying down, defiant to the end, unafraid to speak out. He died the same way he lived, on his own terms, doing what he thought right.
It took a lot of courage.
That's very true. Despite all appearances, Paul was no fool. He knew the outcome, but acted anyway. And that is how my father met his end. But I ask that we don't remember him only for how he died, but for how he lived. Paul was a devoted husband, a loving father, and a generous spirit who helped strangers without a second thought. Some of his last acts were helping bring about better lives for others, guided by the man now standing beside me and those that follow him.
And he was a member of that team.
Thank you for sharing your words. Well, that's the service over with. Thank you for coming, everyone. Feel free to leave or stick around. Up to you. As for you, I'll be honest, when I sent your invite, I wasn't sure what kind of person would show up. But hearing how you felt about my dad, well, let's say I'm glad you were around during Paul's last days. Anywho, my father left behind some personal effects, including a holotape with your name on it. So here, take it with my blessing.
A holotape?
I didn't listen to the tape myself. The words recorded were meant for you and you alone. Before we both take our leave, one last thing. My dad truly admired you and believed wholeheartedly in what you were doing here in the Commonwealth. So, in honor of his memory, I'd like to support your efforts. My settlement may not use fancy flibbity-gibbets like he says, but we're fairly self-sufficient, and you're gonna need all the help you
Love the
can
word
get to win your
flibbity-gibbets.
war. So from here on, I'll make sure to send what military supplies we can spare your way.
Young Paul settlement is now contributing to Sanctuary Hills. So that if you go into, I'll show you guys in a little bit. If you actually go to the desk and look at the benefits, like the things that your settlement has incoming from, it's the same spot you look at city leader benefits. You'll see that there's actually an entry for Young Paul settlement, and it does actually provide benefits. That's not just a pop-up notification.
Thanks for your help.
I'll let you get going. I wish you the very best of luck in every trial and tribulation that comes your way. Goodbye now.
Nope, everybody else is just, they didn't hear when he said that they could leave. They're gonna chill. Oh, there they go. Everybody at once. Oh, that was creepy. Creepy in unison. I wonder if there's a way we can stagger those out. So that we have earmarked for all of our cast here to eventually record like just a couple of little idle lines like, oh, sorry about your loss, Slick, from Jake, stuff like that. Basically so that they're not just saying the base game lines that we already have for them. But getting back this whole cast all at once is very, very difficult now. So we have to like plan it way in advance. So we've got a like ongoing pickup sheet for all of our actors, so that like as we're able to lock them down, we can have them record a bunch more stuff all at once for us. Hola, hey.
Hey.
Yeah?
An old photo of Paul.
I think you're supposed to be able to take this. I can't remember. There we go. Old Paul. Oh, look at there's like an invisible thing. I thought that got deactivated. But yeah, you can take the picture if you want. You just got to get at it from a different angle.
Hey there.
What's up there, eh?
Jammed.
Okay, I guess this door's locked. That's interesting. All right, so some little
Fancy
quirks in
Pants,
here we
good
got to
to
sort
see
out.
ya.
Oh, but let's listen to the holotape. Old Paul holotape. Here we go.
Well, looks like I finally kicked the bucket. Sure took me long enough. I imagine I'm all sealed up in some casket by now. Probably had a bunch of folks I knew say the usual pleasantries. Sounds kinda nice, actually. Say, did my son Paul make it to my funeral? No, he didn't approve of me gallivanting about the Commonwealth, but, well, I hope he made it. Anywho, I'm sure you had your fill of me rambling away, even back before I was worm food, so I'll just get straight to the point. You, your settlements, and all the people you've gathered, you're the future of the Commonwealth. And just because I'm mortally challenged is no reason for me to stop pulling my weight and helping you guys out. So to that end, find the enclosed coordinates that'll lead you to a large cache of supplies I've been stockpiling for, well, for many years now. It was my intent that the stockpile be used in the event of my death to provide for those that relied on me. However, it's you that the people need to rely on now. Take the supplies. Use them to do some good in the wealth. I know I can trust you with this. Well, that was all. You better get going. I'm sure you've got a lot of work to do. As for me, well, if you ever need me, I'm sure you'll be able to track me down. I may not be able to offer any advice, but I'll do my best to listen. Bye, for now.
And as a memorial, we finally get that weapons store that old Paul mentioned. So, like, if you there's a point before he passes during like near the beginning of chapter 2 where a courier will come and ask you to come visit him, and he tells you he's thinking about getting back into the weapon business, and this is kind of the delivery on that. The idea with the young Paul offering supplies and old Paul's weapon store was kind of like a old Paul gets revenge from beyond the grave to help out with the war effort, and that's why I decided to put the default unlock for this quest to be during the war, because it just feels poetic. So we'll get a nice new weapon store we can build, which we're definitely going to go put up. We'll go put it in Sanctuary so I can show you guys the what it looks like that you have the supplies from young Paul. And now we can send Cola to HQ, which is where I've always wanted Cola. Oh, let's mark that. Let's go get that cash. All right, we're gonna switch old, because this weapon shop I think is where old Paul was working at one point, so it's perfect spot to switch. Let's get his new building plan in here. I love this build. This building plan is fantastic. I love it. If you guys haven't seen it yet, this is a Ruined World special. Let's let that build. Alright, let's check. Where's our... Here it is, City Planner's Desk. So if you go to a City Planner's Desk and you go to Manage City, there's a View Modifiers. And this is where you'll see things like the benefits your leaders are providing, but it also shows you if you've captured any territories. It shows you the benefits they're providing. So we can see, oops, first we got to pay and build. There we go. So Young Paul Settlement, plus 35 daily supplies, ballistic ammo. And what else is he providing? He's providing standard weapon parts, standard armor, and ballistic ammo. So he's providing some basic supplies we'll need to gear up our troops. And what's interesting is if you have already defeated the gunners, or if the gunner war hasn't started yet, instead he gives you food, water, and junk, I think, like building materials, I believe, is what he provides instead. So, like, it was really well thought out, the way the funeral plays and like the rewards for it. So appreciate that, Surik, if you're watching. There we go, Old Paul's. Fantastic. Now, is this the level that has...
Oh yeah!
doohickeys, Liberty gibbets, what's-its, doodads. I love this design so much. Thank you, Ruined, for doing this. I can't wait till it levels up. I'm going to check back on that later. Okay, so let's see here. What were we doing? So, build a communications building on a municipal plot in a settlement with a watchtower. So I guess we could go do that back at Starlight, because we have so many municipal plots there. We could probably find one to switch. But we're not going to do that right now. I do want to go, before I forget, I want to go see if we can build some water buildings at Abernathy. Alright, okay, so I don't know if we must use the basic city plan here, because I was probably afraid to do anything more than that, since we're in the Triangle of Death. Okay, we want to swap this to municipal under customized plot. Alright, let's see what we can build here. Oh, no one's assigned, so we can set up this as an advanced water plant, and then assign someone after the fact. And then we have a perception training here, which is perfect for water. Let's check if we've got anybody who's not doing anything. Let's try this trick again, see if we get lucky. Anybody unemployed here? No settlers match your request. Okay, so we got to pick somebody to pull off of their existing job. We can take the organics, I think. I think we're good on organics. Organics, 41k extra. Yeah. Connie, you are shifting jobs. Come here. You are going to build this water plant for us. We have a water shortage. Not here. They have plenty of water here, but just on our network. You guys need power. Oh, and we have another water plant over here. So we need to get our power situation fixed, which means we need our power transfer fixed. Does anyone work on their power transfer? Okay. So we have a problem of power is not distributing correctly. And it looks like this place is actually ready to upgrade. It just needs more defense. This problem may be too big to be fixable right now. It's going to probably take me an hour of tinkering to figure out what's going on. So let's go on to the next thing. Let's go talk to Lydia, and then we will leave the Old Paul stash marked, and then as soon as we happen to be right next to there, we'll grab it. So there's the Old Paul stash. So I think speaking to Lydia is going to be down over here. Yeah, here we go. Alright, Shamrock Tap House. Oh! Looks like we got respawns. Alright, we'll just do that. That works fine. Oh, hello, buddy. Anybody else alive? Yes, we will take your ammunition, thank you. Is that a Stingwing's shadow I see right there? Oh no, it's those birds. They're stuck up there. They're like stuck in a weird animation state. Hello. Oh wait, is that thing dead? No, that's not dead. It's like frozen in time. What are you doing, buddy? I think it's broken. Oh, there it goes. That was weird.
Hey there.
Well now, my boss would like to see you right away now that you're here.
Who is this guy?
The chief trader, Mr. Glatton. I've been made aware that your appointment is to take priority.
All right, I'll hear him out.
Wonderful. He's been eager to make your acquaintance. Please follow me.
Lead the way. Dogmeat, are you here to break this quest?
Mr. Glatton, your appointment.
Ah, yes. That'll be all, Lydia.
Don't mind
yes,
me.
sir.
What a pleasure to finally meet you. I'm Jeremiah Glatton, chief trader of this little venture. But more importantly for you, I'm an investor.
What does that mean?
I'm an investor in causes such as yours, of course. Supporting brave new settlements is a passion of mine. I loathe the notion of wealth languishing in our vaults when there are so many that can benefit from its investment.
It's nice to meet you.
Ah, I see Lydia has grossly underestimated the Commonwealth's civility. And of course, no introductions are necessary for you. Everywhere I ask, people know who you are. Setting up such far-reaching infrastructure, helping doctors rebuild their hospitals, uprooting aggressive mercenaries from their own base, bringing back organized law enforcement and justice into this chaos. And I understand this rather impressive Brotherhood of Steel owes much to your efforts in their takeover. You've even managed to impress Charlotte with your efforts. You have built quite the reputation, my friend.
I love that he mentions all the different things you happen to have done. That's really cool. Nice touch. Nice touch. It feels so weird when I think about it from the outside of like when I'm complimenting all this stuff. Anybody who doesn't know me or doesn't watch my streams regularly might just feel like I'm patting myself on the back, but this is me complimenting our team members. This is my first time actually playing through the NLTC.
You've been watching me?
Well, I make it a point to know the trading partners I'm getting in bed with, so to speak. A little bit of research goes a long way.
I'm glad you're impressed.
Oh, a little more than merely impressed. I'm positively honored. While I know quite a bit about you, I imagine you don't know much about us yet. So, let me tell you a bit about the New Liberty Trading Company. We are a merchant coalition, a tiny but effective little empire. Our predecessors have built our company with careful control of our economy. By my generation, it's created quite a bit of surplus that we now invest in surrounding settlements. Your initiative is among the most promising.
Can I ask some questions?
By all means. Consider me an open book.
How do you know anything about the Commonwealth? What have you heard?
We've been here before. Funny story, really. We attempted to set up a trade agreement with the Commonwealth Provisional Government decades ago. Our negotiators arrived a week too late, however. The CPG had been massacred, and the paranoid locals drove our delegation off. Without a unifying leadership, we wrote this region off as too unstable to sign contracts with. Too high of a risk for very little return.
Massacre of the CPG? What's that?
It was before my time. Stories I've heard range from murder-suicide pacts to killer robot invasions. All I know is they all died.
What changed your mind?
Why, you did! You are exactly the kind of person that we prefer to do business with. A pragmatic leader and a unifying voice for the region.
What's your plan exactly?
My plan here is to ensure the Commonwealth has all the resources it needs to grow. The Home Office is pragmatic, but they trust my business sense implicitly. That means I can safeguard your interests and make sure you get a fair deal.
Tell me more about this town of yours.
Not quite a town, but robust with trade, safety, and gifted artisans. We're not interested in expansion, only establishing trade routes. The NLTC values the written contract above all else, and that trust gives us a certain infrastructure for order in our dealings. If it's notarized on paper, we honor it as law. A notion that seems quite silly to most wastelanders, I know. Scraps of paper carrying so much weight. But we extend the right to anyone outside the NLTC, our partners doubly so. Most are pretty quickly won over.
Interesting idea. What's the catch?
A shrewd question, to be expected of someone of your reputation. The contracts require careful wording, of course. Once they're signed, they're ironclad. Breaking them is done only through predetermined exit clauses. It's quite an elegant system, you'll find. But once our bargains are struck, you can trust that we will honor them.
That's all for now.
Certainly. You've made quite an impression on us, and I hope we can likewise prove ourselves to you. While we both turn a profit, of course.
All right. We can do business.
Combining our funds with your panache, you'll be an empire to be reckoned with in no time. You've already seen what we can offer to places like the Nightingale Hospital. I hear their admirable operation is thriving. I believe you've had the chance to meet Charlotte, maybe even get a taste for the kinds of services we're renowned for. Much as it pains me to say it, though, you've caught me a bit earlier than I expected. Right now, this is all hypothetical. We're looking to establish a trade outpost in a promising location on the waterfront. It'll be ideal for funneling our caravans. It's still swarmed with super mutants, but hopefully we'll have them cleared out soon and with minimal casualties.
Why establish an outpost?
The boat is convenient for scouting the region, and I'm fond of sailing myself, but her use as a temporary base has run its course. We need a reliable, defensible place where it's safe to dock. Somewhere people can find us easily to make use of our services.
Alright, so right here, there was a reported bug, and I came up with a workaround for it for the next patch, but I'll show it to you guys, because it's not actually a bug, it's just something that it can create a situation where it feels like this quest is broken. So if you hit sarcastic here, or you leave, it can feel like you're just locked out of the NLTC, but you're not. So I'll do sarcastic.
I can see where this is going.
I'm sorry if I come off as complaining. We're well capable of securing the location, though we have limited manpower here. I'm exercising caution. Even a single life lost to this effort is one too many. Well, hopefully when you visit us next, we'll be able to do business for real.
Okay, so right now, if you go to try and talk to Lydia, nothing happens. And this is where I'm changing it in the next patch, where if you talk to her, if you just keep hitting talk with her, she'll eventually just trigger the next scene.
Yes.
But really what's supposed to happen is it's supposed to be that she pursues you as you're walking away. The problem is we failed to accommodate for, well, what if the player just fast travels away? And so I think that's what some people are doing. They're trying to talk to Lydia, trying to talk to Gladden. They fast travel away, nothing happens. But if you just walk right over here, you will trigger...
Hold on a moment.
There we go.
I would like to hire you
Trigger
to clear
that.
out the location we've scouted for our outpost. I'm sure Mr. Gladden has mentioned it.
So in the next patch, this will still happen. But if you just were to keep hitting talk to Lydia, eventually it will also just trigger this scene, just to make sure that people don't feel like the thing is broken. Because sometimes we got to change stuff for like what people's natural inclination to do is, rather than what we had hoped for in the design of the story. I think it would have helped if we had had like a controlled location, but because it's out in the world, we can't stop the player from just fast traveling away.
I'm listening. Go ahead.
Good. I see the promise of a clear reward is a better incentive than vague flattery. It's a building by the water, well situated for our needs. Currently, it's overrun with super mutants. Our chief of security, Allison Gale, is currently scouting the location. She was told to observe and keep out of sight. Speak to her when you're ready to instigate hostilities with the super mutants. Once the location is secure, you will be paid 1,000 caps.
Oh, this is my charisma character, isn't it?
Come on. You can do better than that. You wouldn't want people thinking you're cheap.
The payment negotiation has been concluded. Let's move on.
What? What do you mean it's been concluded?
I'm on it. It's as good as done.
Excellent.
I don't know if that was a bug
I
or
await
if
the results
there
of
is
your
no way to
venture
get
with bated breath.
increased
Now, is there anything else?
wages there.
How are you doing?
How am I? Oh, small talk. I understand. I'll admit, I find myself preoccupied with the prospect of a permanent outpost. My stomach doesn't always agree with traveling by boat.
I have some more questions first.
Very well. I imagine you have some reservations about us and the NLTC.
What are you planning on doing?
In the macroscope, the goals of the NLTC are that of any other entity. To survive and thrive. Uncomplicated, subjective, and useless to you. The plan for our delegation, however, is to assess the local markets and come to mutually beneficial agreement with our new trading partners. As of right now, we've finished assessing the markets. A more permanent outpost is necessary for the next step.
And Nihir is the reason that we have Glatton talking with his hands. Nihir figured out that the CK in Fallout 4 is actually capable of doing like the same advanced animated dialogue sequences that a more modern game like Cyberpunk can do, and just Bethesda never used it. So Nihir used it in a bunch of our stuff.
Tell me about yourself.
Let's remain focused on the task at hand. Are there any other questions about the NLTC that I can answer?
Gonna need some more information.
The New Liberty Trading Company is a coalition of merchants, caravans, artisan guilds, and other entrepreneurs. As such, you will find we have a diversity of goods ranging from necessities to luxuries, and a thriving banking tradition. I believe that about covers the basics. Any other questions?
That's all for now.
Very well. Was there anything else?
Do you have any advice?
Speak to Miss Gale before approaching the tower. Extermination contracts are her expertise, and she's rather enthusiastic about them. She'll be more than happy to assist you with any hostilities. And do be careful. Super mutants are unpleasant creatures.
I'll get on it.
I look forward to the results.
So I think I saw somebody comment about how few super mutants there actually are in this quest, and that's actually something that has been on our like bucket list of items to resolve. So the plan has been to take because we expanded that cell in the base game. You only get to go. Oh wow! Lydia just getting in there with her fists. But anyway, so the default custom mounts tower cell is super tiny. It's just what you get to do for this quest right here, where you go and kill a few super mutants, and we built out the rest of that. So our intention long term is to take what we did for the cell that you eventually see the NLTC in and turn that into a dungeon to fight super mutants. But it just hasn't happened yet.
Hey.
Look at that. You were right on schedule. So, time to kill us some super mutants?
How did you know?
I was told to sit here and wait until I either got bored or you showed. And here you are. That makes you on schedule.
Who are you? What are you doing out here?
Name's Allison. Lydia sent me out here to keep an eye on the super mutants. Now my job is to watch your back while we shoot them. So, you ready to get to killing?
Okay, let's get to work.
They got one of those suiciders by the door and some mines on the exits. Don't know how many are inside. Don't get blown up, or the bosses will have to find some other ass to kiss. And I wouldn't put it past Lydia to dock my pay if you die. After you.
Alright, let's oh, that's not what I wanted. I wanted to get this. Alright, now I'm losing track of what map marker is near me. Okay, it's right in front of us. Alright, let's hope not to engage with the Brotherhood that happened to be right in the middle of this entire quest line. Oh, hello, Raider.
Hold up. We got an audience.
Where's the suicider you promised me? Oh, there's those frag mines. Hey, buddy.
Time to reel him in.
Oh, oh, oh. Yeah, let's go ahead and pop these. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Oh, that's her. I was like, who's shooting the shotgun? You go take care of that. I'm gonna try and pop these mines. Go. Did I get both of them? Yeah. Everybody dead? Alright. Alright, where are those raiders? I need to get their ammunition. And frag grenade. Alright, lost track of the other one. That's fine. Alright, I guess the suicider probably got in a fight with some random people. Vanilla Custom House is one of the few disappointing dungeons in F4. Yeah, it's kind of a bummer. When it's this super little tiny space.
Fire!
Oh!
Not bad at all. Gotta say, this was more fun than I've had in weeks. NLTC solves most of its problems with money. Lucky for me that the wasteland is full of shit that doesn't negotiate. Makes for nice, clean, ethical violence.
What's next?
Bosses will get someone to clean it up. They travel with janitors for a reason. Time to head back and let Her Highness know the palace is ready. Stop by sometime and get your pay from Lydia.
So yeah, this is like the whole vanilla dungeon. Like, really? Come on. So our intention is to eventually open it up, redecorate, have like a layer inside of the... Because you guys who have played it know what I'm talking about. That we opened this place up and it has like it has 3 floors technically, 2 lower levels and an upper. So we want to turn that into a dungeon, and then after you take it over, it can turn into the clean version you've seen. Our dreams often exceed our available time. All right, what is our objective here? Oh, we can return to Lydia immediately. Okay. All right, yeah. And then I think there's like a brief waiting period where they set up Custom House Tower. Where is Lydia?
Huh?
Oh, she's up here.
Yes?
Home office isn't so bad, so long as you're one of the insiders. Or you have caps.
Please, take your time.
Same thing now that I
I'm
think
sure I
about
don't
it.
have anything better to be doing than waiting. You're back. Miss Gale has already reported what happened. You've done the job to the letter of the contract. A refreshing change of pace. Usually, hiring locals requires far more supervision. Here is the reward for the job.
What's next for you?
I'll start organizing our people and some local contractors. They'll clean up the mess the super mutants have undoubtedly left behind. In the meantime, I have another contract that would benefit from your unique reputation in the Commonwealth. Would you be interested?
What's the job?
Setting up a trade outpost is a significant step in establishing our presence. It is now time to consider the markets we are getting involved in. Our first established trade agreements must be strategic. There are a few prospective candidates.
What's your opinion of Bunker Hill?
I've made inquiries into Bunker Hill. It is a hub of disorganized caravans and traders. However, their closed-circuit society makes them analog to a competitor company, without the formal name or any true ambition. Trying to insinuate ourselves into their circle would take more time and resources than I care to commit at this stage.
Good Neighbor seems like an okay place.
I haven't seen the town with my own eyes, but by all accounts, it is a lawless community of free actors. We can consider investing in their individual merchants at a later date, but for now, they lack the organization we're looking for.
What's your take on Diamond City?
It is a well-established settlement. Stable, organized, and due to their limited space, always short on something. In other words, exactly the kind of trading partner we're looking for. Normally, I conduct these negotiations personally. However, intelligence tells me that Diamond City is paranoid and insular. My being a stranger will unnecessarily prolong the negotiations. As such,
Whoops.
I would like
Accidentally
to
pushed the button
hire
there.
you to bring the draft of the agreement to them and negotiate on our behalf with the quartermaster.
What is it?
It is a standard trade agreement. Section 2B lists our rates, tariffs, and taxes. 3B details risk that our caravans are willing to undertake. Other sections also encompass banned goods, code of conduct with our employees.
Fade to black.
And, of course, T22 lists liability charges and an outline of the NLTC judicial systems for appeals in regards to... Are you listening to me?
Let's just switch to a flirt. Uh-oh, we missed a perk check. Oh, I think we're in love with Jake here, though. We can't cheat on Jakey boy on this character.
Just trying to cover all the bases.
I found that properly arranged paperwork pays dividends in caps, and patience saved. Back to the matter of your involvement in the negotiations.
What is it?
You are welcome and encouraged to review the contract at your own convenience.
What are you offering, exactly?
Standard contract for a freelance negotiator is 1,000 caps.
All right, now let's see if we can bargain this time.
Come on. My time's worth more than that.
Very well. Seeing as you're uniquely qualified, I am willing to pay you the rate of a preferred consultant. 1,500.
Come on. My time's worth more than that.
The payment negotiation has been concluded. Let's move on.
She's fond of that line.
I'll do it.
Excellent. Here's the copy of the contract. If the quartermaster is a smart man, he will want to negotiate some of the terms. Do what you have to get it signed, though it is my hope that your reputation will do the work for you. Oh, and one more thing. I'm putting Miss Gale at your disposal. She can accompany you or meet you there. I'll leave such details to your discretion.
Why would you want her to go with me?
Miss Gale has a tendency to become a liability when kept on standby. Plainly put, when she's bored, she starts making her own entertainment, and I foresee her being very bored while we set up the outpost.
Sure. I could use someone watching my back.
She's been made aware of the situation. Speak to her if you want her to accompany you. Good luck with the negotiations.
These guys are going to make you rich with consulting fees. I'll spend it pretty quick, especially when I get to the Ron to purchase another settler if we can.
My favorite client. Tricky negotiations, huh? Well, I'm sure you'll impress me.
How's it going?
Lydia is a little slow on our relocation. Apparently...
Uh-oh. Hey, come here, come here.
Hi.
My favorite client. I'm told Diamond City is to be a profitable trading partner, and I do so like those.
How's it going?
Lydia is a little slow on our relocation. Apparently it's still too dirty and too smelly for her tastes. Please.
It would be nice to know more about you.
Me? Well, let's see. My name is Jeremiah Glatton. I like long walks on the beach, hot baths, and I take my coffee with milk and 2 sugars. If you're asking professionally, then I'm the chief trader. Oh, I know. It's just a very fancy title that means I get the final say on operations here. Besides you, of course. We are guests at your discretion, after all.
Do you have any advice?
Oh, in regards to the negotiations with Diamond City? Lydia's contract is very likely bulletproof. It's why I trust her to handle these things. Just get the man to sign and we'll all profit. Our offer is an exceptionally good one. He'd be irresponsible not to take it. But if for some reason he does put up resistance, figure out why and apply the right kind of pressure. Give him what he thinks he wants.
That's all for now, thanks.
My door is always open to you.
Oh, that was nice. Let's see if Lydia has a little extra combo
Hello.
like that.
We're well underway in relocating to our new outpost. Though, I do wish we had time to air out the odor from the building first.
How are things going?
There was an I
The
quit
Custom
option.
House Tower has been deemed serviceable. If in dire need of sanitation, it will be a pleasant change to have a stationary desk again.
Okay, not much to say. Let's go talk to Allison. And
We
quick
don't
save.
have as many super mutants around the home office. Just stragglers and scouts. Guess they're all here. Hey, killer. Lydia said you might want a bodyguard on a little trip. Her Highness gets the best ideas. Or I can meet you in Diamond City. Your call.
Why would you want to go?
Don't worry. No one thinks you need the security detail. But all there's to do around here is smoke and pretend to run security. Security runs itself just fine. If there's a Mirelurk, they don't need me to tell them they gotta shoot it until it dies. So I'm bored. I make Lydia nervous when I'm bored. You're a good excuse for me to get out of here, and she knows it.
Let's go then.
Fucking A, hun. Get us into some trouble on the way, won't you? Actually, that reminds me. I got a little extermination contract on some raiders. Their hideout is on the way. Normally, Lydia just pays the gang off, but I guess these guys are too territorial and too close. Glatton wants them vacated from the premises. If you're up for raising a little hell, I'll share the payout. Fair and square.
But yeah, let's do that.
Sure. I got time to help out.
Your call. I'll mark it down for you. Anyway, let's get going.
Yeah, let's go kill some raiders. Could take some extra ammo here.